Yeah, we can keep it. Yeah, no, like if I'm gonna discuss anything about horror movies, like the last like 10 years of horror movies have been like, okay, you gotta work on this shit. I will say I'm a Halloween purist because I like all of them in their own way, but like I can see the hate. I can see the hate for Halloween Ends. I can see that one. I can see the hate because it was like, okay, here it is. And I was talking to like one of my coworkers, and I was explaining why I think I can see why the hate, and I can see why I like it. I like Michael Myers because he's an awesome character. He's a great character. But what was really fucking alarming was how many people liked the movie versus how many people didn't like the movie. And there's a lot of reasons why the people didn't like the movie, and this is what I would say is because Michael's short run time in the whole movie, and then they explained it like with Halloween Kills that every time Michael kills someone, he transcends to an evil or part of himself. So like, and at the end of it kills, he fucking brutally kills like 40 fucking people. Like he kills them like the brutalest way possible, and like, and then it cuts to ends. Like I think they had with kills they had everything solid. Then they went to ends. It goes, he's an old hobbled up bastard in a fucking tool shed living his life. You know what I mean? Like he's just an old hobbled up bastard of himself. Literally just wandering around, killing rats and living off rats, and he's so weak and he's hobbling around. And then they introduce this character, Corey, which makes this guy is fucking like he's a good guy. He made a mistake by babysitting this little bastard for some tragedy and all this shit, and they're describing his character and his descent into madness and evil and all that. And he's like, I don't want to be like everybody else, and starts acting manic and crazy and killing people. And he's supposed to be the next Michael. This man manhandles Michael, who's killed numerous people, and takes his mask and starts going around killing people and basically stealing the moniker, I'm Michael now. Well, then at the end of the movie, he basically kills himself. He slits his own throat, like, and so like the whole continuity, like the whole movie was just basically it was for what? This big epic battle between Laurie and Michael, and finally Laurie kills Michael, which is okay, I guess. It is brutal. I was kind of fucking skeeved out by like the brutality of how she killed Michael, taking knives and stabbing him into a table. But like the movie, I get it. I get why people are pissed. And then I'm like, you know what? It had to end somehow, and I think people just got pissed because it ended. But then they created this whole Corey character who's like literally useless to the story because he just dies. There's no point to him at all. So it's like, you know, I mean, like horror movies, like Evil Dead Rise was really good. I thought it was really good. Mommy's with the Maggies now. Like, yeah, Mommy's with the Maggies now. Yeah, like, and like, I like Evil Dead. Me and my wife, we were shopping and we went to the flea market, and this guy had like sealed up Evil Dead copies, like tons of them. And like we bought, I was like, you know what, we'll buy them all. We'll buy all the copies this guy had. He had on Blu-ray, he had on DVD, he had Army of Darkness. We bought all of them, like all of them. And it was like, I think he gave us like the DVDs for like 50 cents a piece. Like that's how it was. Yeah. Well, I went to that same flea market, and I go there all the time. I pretty much, me and my wife will go there. We'll do it just kids out, get out of the house, you know, have some fun. And I had a couple bucks in my pocket, and I came across 25 Years of Terror Halloween. I pick it up. I don't even look at the DVD. I don't even look to see if the DVD's in there, and I usually do that with every DVD I buy. I open up the case, I'm like, oh, it's in there. Okay, cool. No, I didn't even do that. I took the DVD, I take it home, I open it up, and it's autographed and signed. Yeah, it's autographed and signed. I spent like $2 on it. Like, it's autographed and signed by the cast from Halloween. I was like, I was like, oh, and it was, and like none of like it was actually signed by each individual from that movie, like each individual. So it's like, I was like, holy shit! And I call over to my wife. I'm like, this bitch is fucking signed. And I look down. I'm like, is that a J? Is that John Carpenter's signature? Holy fuck! Like, holy fuck! It's right. It's like in my room right now. It's like there's something I'm never gonna get rid of because I found it and I was like, oh, I don't even care if it's like I don't care if it's some kid that just took a Sharpie and did it himself. But like, no, it's just like I found this and then it was like, I can't prove that it's real. I can't prove that that's his signature or anything like that. But I'm pretty sure that's John Carpenter's signature. I look it up. I grab like an autograph translator type thing, and I'm like, that definitely says John Carpenter. Holy fuck! I was like, yeah. Like to have something like that for me is amazing. Okay, yeah. So, and I had that's not the first time that's happened to me either. Um, I'm a big Dean Koontz fan. I like Dean Koontz. I like pretty much most of his work. I like Frankenstein. I like all of his Odd Thomas books. I've read almost all of his Odd Thomas books. Some I have not because I didn't care for the interlude. But I wrote him a letter before I got married. I wrote him a letter. It was a very long letter. I said, basically, Dean Koontz, I'm one of your biggest fans. I love your stuff. I love all your work. It's so good to read something that has been integral and part of my life. Basically, it feels like you're writing directly to me about me and my life and whatnot. And I said, thank you from your biggest fan. Well, I don't think nothing of it. Months go by, and I mean months go by. Don't even think anything of it. I get a package in the mail. I don't have to go pick it up. Didn't remember ordering anything. I didn't remember buying anything. And it's it's pretty hefty, so it can't fit in my mailbox. So I go up to the post office. I pick it up. I'm like, who's this from? It says from Dean Koontz on the front. Like, it says from Dean Koontz. What the fuck did I do? I open it up, and it's a signed copy of his latest book saying thank you to one of my biggest fans, Joshua. Your letter inspired me to write more books, and it's keeping me going. Thank you for being a big fan. That was it. I was like, oh my god, I don't know how to think that. I was like, oh god, I can't believe that. Like, who does that? Like, I was like, who does that nowadays? That's just unheard of. Like, to have someone who writes books and like is famous throughout the world writing books, and they send you an autographed copy of a book because they don't expect you to send, like, the P.O. box is in the back of the book, so that way you can write fan mail to them, but like, you don't expect to actually get anything from the guy. You're just like, oh, okay, he's gonna read it, it's gonna probably brighten up his day, ha ha ha, this dude can't fucking write with shit, and that's it, and throw it away. Like, and like, he was like, congratulations on your upcoming nationals and whatnot. I was like, okay, sick. Like, come on, that's awesome. I still got the book, still got the letter, still got everything pretty much in the house, and it's like, there's certain things that I had to like let go of in my house, but those are certain things I cannot let go of, and that was one of them. Yeah, like, and I think I got a few other signed things around here. I got an autographed picture of Tom Hardy. I like Tom Hardy. I think he's an amazing actor. Like, I got an autographed picture from him. I got signed I think I got a poster that's signed by Kevin Conroy. You don't know who Kevin? Yeah, Kevin Conroy. Yeah. Like, these are just like, and I'm sorry, each one of these things is probably integral to me growing up. Like, it was like each one of these things. Like, Halloween's always gonna be my personal favorite horror movie of all time. Like, of all time. Yeah, so, yeah, no, I was talking to my buddy the other day, and there was this movie called, I think it's like Into the Woods or some weird thing, like, Into Nature, and it's supposed to be like a serial killer or something like that type story. And it's basically like Jason Voorhees without having the copyright issues of not being Jason. The guy's character name is Johnny. And apparently this movie's supposed to be really fresh, supposed to be really original. It's basically, you're watching a serial killer walk around and brutally kill people. It's like a third-person view of the killer. So, like, you're right by, your camera is right behind them. They're basically telling the story of how he came to be, and it basically someone stole his locket and brought him to life. It's weird. I was watching it on YouTube, and I was like, okay, that's weird. and it's kind of from the killer's perspective. I get it, but is it necessary? No, it's not necessary to. Like, we all know why serial killers kill people. The thrill. Even though he's technically dead. No, I just thought it was kind of interesting. Some of the shit that you fucking see on there. Oh, I got this post one. This one I'm gonna read it to you. Okay, hold on, let's see. Alright. People who can watch horror movies for fun and then sleep peacefully are demons. That's what people, like, someone posted on here. And I commented, me and my fellow demons are going to say thanks. So if it gives you pause, good. You're fucked. We outnumber you. We outnumber you. Yes, you horror movie weirdos that literally I am with you all the way to the end. I thought. Okay, well, I started basically a broadcast / podcast. Yeah, I started one of those. It was like I started up Dead by Daylight, and the only thing that I got going on right now is just talking. But like, yeah, no, I don't know. I can't see him. I want to see a good horror movie. I want to see a good one. But the problem is, will I see one in the next year or so? Probably not. I'm still pissed they ended Ash vs. Evil Dead. That was canceled, yeah. Netflix picked it up for one final season. And it's with Ash basically like having his arm back and his hand back and all that shit. And basically he's like part human, part robot battling evil. Like, it makes no sense. The ending makes no sense. It's so ambiguous and so weird. Like, yeah. Like, some of these, like, the way they end shows is just like, there was a show that me and my wife and my mother-in-law were watching. It's called Under the Dome. It's a Stephen King novel. We were watching. It's not so much horror. It's just, like, who placed the dome there, this, that, and the other, what makes the dome come to be. And we're just sitting there, we're talking, we get really into it. We're watching it. My daughter Emma came home from the hospital. I'm holding Emma in my arms, and I'm like, okay, this show's really interesting. They get to the final episode. It's really interesting. Final episode. And it's like, it leaves on this cliffhanger, this monumental cliffhanger. It's like, okay, they're going to go back into the dome. They've all escaped the dome, but they got to go back in. And they're all talking about going back in. And it's like, our lives have changed since we left the dome. Now let's go back into the dome. We need to go do something to save people from the dome. And it's like this great hoorah moment. And you're like, fuck you. It just cuts to black and goes to credit. It's like, fuck you. With this ambiguous ending that had no point to it. It's like the fucking movie Open Water. Literally, you invest your time in these people, and then you realize one thing. The true story, it's based off a true story, and the husband and wife, literally, they never found them. They both died and got eaten by sharks. Right. What happened was, alright, so Open Water basically takes place in some tropical, like, paradise thing where they go out they're going swimming and they're scuba diving. They go down deep, and basically it's a group of people, scuba divers. Well, the husband and wife are kind of like, they kind of go down a little deeper, and the people don't see them, I'm guessing, and that's why they miss them. And they did a count of all the people, and they're like, oh, okay, we're ready to roll. Well, the husband and wife are left out in the middle of the ocean, floating around, getting attacked by sharks. Well, the husband gets attacked by a shark, and what happens is he starts bleeding out. And so when he's slowly bleeding out, he's sitting there dying. And what happens is the wife, he gets eaten, like he gets dragged under. And so then, like, the wife's just sitting there, waiting to die. She's sitting there, and finally she just goes under. And that's the end of the movie. So, like, literally, a movie about sharks should be very much more interesting than this whole synopsis I just described to you. You would think so, but it didn't. It isn't. It isn't that movie. Like, I could list off a couple movies that I probably would say would probably be my favorite ones, and they're kind of horror-esque in a way. Like Couples Retreat, or not Couples Retreat. I think it's something else. It's something with let's see, what's that movie with I gotta look it up. I'm gonna look it up now, so I know the name of the movie. It's pretty good. Let's see. What is it? I know it's in here. A Perfect Getaway. It's not. Alright, so I'll tell you what it is, that the synopsis of this movie. Alright. Basically, a newlywed couple are out celebrating their honeymoon by hiking through a secluded region of Hawaii. Their idyllic trek takes a dark turn when they find a group of frightened hikers who claim that another couple has been brutally murdered. Far from civilization, unsure who to trust, Sydney and Cliff are soon get locked in a terrifying battle for survival. What happens is, plot twist. The newlyweds are fucking junkies that have been brutally murdering people. And the people that were saying that these couples have been brutally murdered that are supposed to be like the hillbilly-esque type characters are the ones that are the normal ones. You know what I mean? Yeah. So it's like, it turns out, plot twist, they're not newlyweds, they're supposed to be like these normal people, and they're not. Like, so it's kind of fucking crazy. They're both junkies, they're both killing people to get money to keep their highs going and whatnot. It's so fucking weird and wild. It's a good movie though. But like they hide it so well, and like their characters are so like non-quirky at all. Yeah, I got a few good horror movies that I like. Stay Alive. That is probably one of my favorites right there. Stay Alive, Rose Red. Stay Alive was basically video game-esque type horror movie game where basically these people, the way they die in the video game is the way they die in real life. Yeah, it was. It's my favorite. Me and my wife love that movie. We hunted that movie down. We were looking for it forever. We were looking for it for like months on end. We finally found it in a pawn shop. Like, we found it, like, yeah. Like, it's one of those things we were looking for. It's like, we have it. We love it. It's one of our personal favorites. There was one called The Night Flyer that I like too. It's one of Stephen King's. And I'm a big Stephen King fan as far as movies. Books, I cannot fucking read them. I can't read them. There's so much detail, too much detail for me. Like, too much detail. Nope, I've seen The Terrifier. That movie's horrible. Like, both of them are horrible. There's... Oh, yeah. Well, that one's used so much, though. But, I texted one of those memes to my wife, and it's basically, your daughter's exactly like you, and it's got the little evil little girl sitting there. I'm like, yeah, that's my kid. My daughter, Lydia, is exactly the same way. Exactly the same way. She's crazy, she's manic, but the thing is, like, she's my kid. I wouldn't expect anything less. Like, crazy is definitely genetic. when it comes to that kid, because she's sitting there, she'll be sitting there 1 minute, she'll be like, Daddy, I'm gonna go play. Okay, go ahead, baby, go play. I'll sit here. She'll be like, Daddy. She'll get nose to nose with me. Is it okay? And she'll smile all evil like, and she'll be like, is it okay if I dress up as Elsa? Sure. Can you get the hell out of my face? Like, she's nose to nose with me. And I'm like, all right. She's like, Daddy, will you button me up in the back? Yes, baby, I'll button you up in the back so you can dress up as Elsa and run around like a crazy kid that you are. Okay. No, she's not. She's crazy, but I love her. She's such a good kid. And like, she'll sit there and she'll say, Daddy, yeah, what's up? I don't want to eat my green beans. Which is bullshit, because she loves fucking green beans. She's like, I don't want to eat my broccoli. But she'll start to make deals to get out of eating vegetables. Like, dude, just eat your fucking vegetables, man. Mommy says that, like, she'll be like, you don't eat your vegetables. Little bitch, don't call me out in front of your fucking mother. Now she's gonna make me eat them. Like, what the fuck? Gonna call me out in front of your mother and she's gonna make me eat them now. Thank you. You couldn't go down that ship on your own. You gotta bring me with you, you little brat. What are you eating, bear? Go lay down, you stupid dog. Bed. I'm gonna shoot Noodle a text. Was Josh's idea to spam you? Was Josh's idea to spam you? I totally did that for a reason. Yeah, she's gonna be like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Hunter. That is Abigail Breslin. She's alright. I haven't seen it. She makes really different types of horror. Like, didn't she play in that movie with fucking... what's his face? Maggie? She's in a zombie one called Maggie, I believe. Like... yeah, let me take a look. I'm pretty sure it is called Maggie. It's Arnold's movie. Okay. There you go. Let's see. Alright, I'm getting to the list. Because Arnold was in it. Last Stand, Eraser, Aftermath. Maggie. You're in the stars. Like, I can just guess movies. Abigail Breslin, yes. She was in a movie called Maggie with Arnold Schwarzenegger. Basically, she tested positive for this zombie virus. Yeah, and like apparently Arnold had already, I think it was like a daughter from a previous marriage, and they had issues with each other, and there's big rife with, like, the movie is just like rife with survivor's guilt or some shit, and it's just like completely a weird ass movie. And I was watching like 10 minutes of it, and I was like, okay, this is boring. I'm turning it off. I was like, yeah, Arnold, you didn't hold a candle to what you used to when I was watching Terminator. Yeah, nah. There's just, sorry, some movies are just not good. It's like they're good on the cutting room. They're good on like paper, but when you put them on the cutting room floor, it's like nothing. Like, I don't even think there's a good horror movie coming out within the next 2 months. Hold up, wait a minute. Maxine, that's a new one that's coming out in the next 2 months. Maxine. Yeah, apparently it's supposed to be a sequel to Pearl. Eh, I never really cared for the Pearl movies either. My buddy, and I didn't care for X. But, you know, that's how it is. Like, these weird movies seem to get, like, traction, I guess. I think I'm gonna wrap it up and go to bed in a minute. Yeah, I guess it Rage Against the System.